In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Realities Tip on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the mighty one, Angelsnup 7. I am your soul brother, number one. Okay. As always, right now I have to continue to be very, very quiet because I'm trying not to disturb others. The topic that I've chosen for these very few minutes is myself. I want to know why. Angelsnup 7. I have been on social media since late 2007. 11 years, going on 11 years. And during that time, I have upset many people from all walks of life. Christians, atheists, agnostics, homosexuals, agnostics, Muslims, Hebrews, Moors, and the list goes on and on. White folks, of course. Angelsnup 7 even make Google, the corporation, upset. What is it? Look, ever since 2007, I have always been told, now even though the numbers show different, the numbers show different, but I have always been told I only have 10 subscribers and 10 views. So how does a person that has 10 subscribers and 10 views, how can this person make so many of you so angry, including Google itself? This little fella. To me, it's sort of mind-boggling, but really it's not. Really it's not. The reason why Angelsnup 7 angers people is because you live in delusions. You live in fantasy. Your thinking pattern is not your own. You think somebody else is putting thoughts in your mind. And when you come across somebody like me, I am like the man in the mirror. And you don't like what you see. So you would like to destroy the mirror because you don't like to see the reflection of yourself. If you notice, and I have never done this, but you don't see books behind me, you don't see DVDs. I do quote from the Bible and Quran sometimes because that's just where I come from. But I don't, that I don't believe in gods and spirits and all these types of things. Information can come from any source as long as it's true. So from this rostrum, from this platform, I am not dependent upon a 2,000-year-old book, 3,000-year-old book. I'm not dependent upon diagrams. You don't see me using diagrams. You don't see me using pictures. You don't see me doing Google searches. What is it that I depend on? I depend on what I come up with my mind. Many of you don't have a mind of your own. You regurgitate information from somebody else. You regurgitate things from a person of who you serve, that you honor. You are a slave. You have no thoughts of your own. You are programmed by somebody else. So you want to get angry at me because I am outside of your programming. Yes, I have been influenced by many things, but I have learned how to depend on logic, reason, being analytical, common sense. When you hear most of these people talk, they never talk about common sense. They never talk about logic. They never talk about being able to reason and being analytical. They don't talk about that. They don't promote that because they are looking for slaves and you have become their slave. And you want to get angry at me because I'm not going to be your slave. And when I am confronted with your delusions and your fantasy, stuff that you copy from somebody, mimic from somebody else, and I tell you what it is, you don't like it. Many of you think those are your own thoughts, and they are not. Some say I can dish it out, but I can't take it. What is it that what is it that you're giving me that I can't take? I'm the kind of person, when you show me my error, I might get angry. It's natural because nobody wants to be in error. Nobody wants to be wrong. I remember not long ago, somebody was telling me something about myself on a personal level. And at first I rejected what they was talking about because they was angry at me and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when I start to think about it, I said, you know something? That person is right. Now they're not doing this out of love. They're doing this trying to hurt my feelings. But at the same time, they don't know that they are really helping me. So I'm like, you know something? They are right. And I began to work on that. So the next time you come to me, you might be able to bring many things, but that you won't be able to do. And if you continue to do that, the next thing you know, people will tell you, you think you perfect. No, I'm not perfect. When something is wrong, I try to correct it in myself. That's what I try to do. Y'all don't want to do that because you think that you are right already. You are self-righteous and you are know-it-all and you become arrogant. Then when somebody like me show up and show you who you really are, then you get all upset. Now, have I personally done anything to any of these people? No. There are some who may come out and say, Angelsnup 7 did this, Angelsnup 7, blah, blah, blah. But you ask them to prove it. Where's your evidence that Angelsnup 7 tried to cause you any harm? They never show you the evidence. Never. They are the problem. They refuse to look at themselves and what they have done or what they have said. So you have a group of people who are angry at Angelsnup 7 on false pretense because there's something wrong with them and they want to blame me for their wrong. And I won't allow it. Then the majority group of people who have a problem with Angelsnup 7, of course, are those. You believe in something. You believe in a person. Like my recent video about Minister Farrakhan has nothing to, it's not personal. It's an observation of a behavior. And you want to justify that observation of a behavior. My uncle, it's very simple. My uncle gave Louis Farrakhan 30 years, willing to die for that man. Made no attempt to come to his funeral. Did not send a condolence letter. Nothing. But he can go all out of his way to have his raggedy ass face at Dick Gregory's funeral, who did nothing for him, at Aretha Franklin's funeral, who did nothing for him. They did not give him 30 years of service to him. And you make up all these excuses, well, my uncle was doing this for Allah. No, my uncle was protecting the body of Louis Farrakhan. My uncle was not protecting the body of Allah or nobody else. He was giving money to Louis Farrakhan. He was driving his car and doing everything he could for Louis Farrakhan. God wasn't nowhere around. God didn't ask my uncle to do a damn thing. Louis Farrakhan asked him, will you help me? And my uncle helped him, and the man don't even have the character to come to the brother's funeral after 30 years. And y'all really think that's right. Something is wrong with you. You are sick. You have a serious problem. Many of you are caught up in these black conscious teachings. Blackity black, African, black conscious, Pan-African black. And you are some sick puppies. You are sick out of your damn mind. You want to get angry at me because I show you how sick that you really are. You're not living in reality. You're living in some type of delusions. And you want to get angry at me and you want to point something out to me. I embrace the things that you show. But most of the time when people bring stuff to me, they are being silly. They're not really trying to show me my error, because I am capable of error. I am capable of being wrong, and I can apologize, and I can confess, and I can admit when I am wrong, and try to, if I hurt you, I am man enough and have enough character to apologize and try to heal that which I have caused harm to. Y'all not like that. I don't run around telling lies. You may not like what I have to say, but nobody never shows how I'm a liar. I'm not a liar. I can be mistaken. I can be in error, but I'm not a liar, because a lie, when people tell lies, you tell lies in order to deceive. And you want to deceive because there's a benefit. There's no benefit to me to tell lies on Minister Farrakhan. There's no benefit for me to tell lies on you. There's no benefit for me. So why tell the lie? What? Deceive you? I'm going to deceive you to do what? I'm not trying to convert you to no religion. I'm not trying to convert you to some political idea. I'm not trying to do those things. So what is the benefit for me to deceive or lie to you? I have no benefit. However, I do confess and I do admit that I would like for you to learn how to think for yourself, and y'all don't want to do that. But I understand why you don't want to do that, because you're a slave. You're a slave, and you got to have a slave master. You don't understand me because I have no slave master. Everything that I say from this rostrum comes from my mind. I think for myself. You don't. You have a slave master that you regurgitating something from. Oh, Malcolm X said this. Marcus Garvey did this. Elijah Muhammad, the Quran said, the Bible said. You have to have some type of, you have no mind of your own. You have to have a diagram and Google searches and all this other stuff, because you don't think for yourself. You don't know how to analyze life itself. But see, a slave don't have, that's not necessary for a slave. Slave master program you. Your slave master, you think, may not be white folks, but your slave master is other sources. Because you're a slave, you have to have a massa. You have to have a massa. And so you get angry at Angelsnup number 7 because you realize that I am truly free in the mind. Of course, I'm not truly free physically. I'm still trapped in what we call pink or white supremacy. I'm trapped in that. But as far as my mind is concerned, I'm free. And that's a good feeling. And you want me to join, you get angry because you want me to join your plantation. I'm not interested in your massa. I'm not interested in you, slave. Because a slave can't do nothing for me. Except guide me down to a new slave master. I'm not interested in your slavery. And these delusions, these fantasy things that you've been taught. The black conscious and the Kemetic and the African and all this other Pan-Africanist garbage. It's garbage. Fabricated mess. Given to you. Y'all feeding in a hog trough. That's why you're not going nowhere. Outdated information, outdated thinking, archaic mindset. You don't think, you don't look at life in a realistic sense. It's fantasy, Africanized fantasies, fiction and delusions, spaceships and vibrations of the body and all kinds of crap that you can't even explain. Then you get angry at me because you can't explain what you believe. It's very difficult to explain fiction and fantasy trying to pretend or trying to make believe that it's real. That's not going to work. So you can get angry at me all that you want to. Just stay the hell away from me. Because as long as you come around here on this platform, we keeps it real. You want to continue to live in Bugs Bunny land? Then don't come here. And don't come around me. Because it's my mission and our mission for those who come here. We got to keep it real. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.